Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today is a really exciting day. We got 3 new criminal cards that we've revealed as part of Community Spoilers Week. Those we've been talking about in a previous video. So if you want to know a bit more about the nuances of those cards, you can check that video out. It should be up on the channel just before this. But right now, we are on a special test server on Jinteki. This is actually recorded in November. I am playing against Patrick, who doesn't play a lot of JNet, who was kind enough to help us out. Also, huge shout outs to Noah from the JNet team, who is cool at helping us set this up so we can try some of these new criminal cards. So I built a couple decks. This is at first the Az deck. We're going to jump right in. Pat is playing Pālanā. So Pālanā Foods gains a credit the first time we draw a turn, and we're playing as, trying out some of that new hardware we got. Opening hand, honestly, it could be a lot worse. We have the sec testing, which is good pressure for the remotes. We have the Cyberfeeder, which we get on cheaply, and DJ Fenris is okay for Haley. Unfortunately, besides the security testing, I feel like we could open up a bit more with some money. I'm going to try and mulligan this, but this hand's definitely keepable. Let's try and high roll it. Yeah, this is probably a bit better. We have the early pad tap, which is so good against Pālanā. We can draw to get it. We have the early diversion pressure. We have the class act, and we have a Aumakua. Thanks, you too. We actually did record some games before. I played against Roberto. I was playing some Geist decks, but unfortunately I realized those Geist decks were technically not standard legal because I totally forgot the fact that creation and control rotates. So I was playing cards like Clone Chip and Same Old Thing. So there's a chance I might put those videos up after these ones, but they're by no means, Then by no means standard, and this Az deck does actually follow the proper rules. Pat's going to throw out the celebrity gift, showing us BioVault, IP block, which is actually a pretty big issue considering that we do have an Aumakua based, Aumakua based economy, and La Costa Grid, Obakata. So there's an IP block on HQ, so it's actually very possible that we can get a diversion of funds off through the IP block. They'd have to force the trace. They might have more money than us, so the trace might not be that possible. I don't think it's going anywhere. I'm worried about getting the Aumakua down early because this will give us a tag, and I don't think we have any smart way of dealing with that. So if we get the pad tap down and we draw, we gain a credit. They gain a credit, which is cool. We want to use this. When does this fire? Usually before you draw for the first time, when you turn during which you install this ends. Okay, so I don't think we're going to get the credit on that. So we want to install a hardware resource every turn. Starting with the class act is pretty good. We'll just gain a credit. So now we'll draw 5. Unfortunately, we've already drawn this turn, and we have some couple things to install. This is our new card, Prognostic Q-Loop. Pretty fun. Definitely pretty interesting thing. This accelerates the installation of hardware. This lets us use our Az ability on the corpse turn, which is always really fun. Slowed him down a bit there with the pad tap. It's definitely good to see. And we can set up pretty aggressively. We have cards like Masterwork, which again draws us more cards. I think double Aumakua might be a bit much, so we'll see how things go for here. And it looks like Pat is going to IPO up, have a bit of a slower start, which is good because we have a lot of stuff to install to get going. So we don't unfortunately have a corporate grant, which is our restricted card, which is really good when we have this much stuff to install. We really need to find some economy. So let's start with this. Oh, because we're drawing, right. Add 1 card to the bottom of the stack. It's Fenris or Gamble. The Gamble seems pretty good right now. We can definitely play it. The Fenris is really good if we want to become Haley. A lot of times that's better, but we'll take the sure Gamble. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to play that this turn. I think we actually might just want to install some hardware. I'm aware we're going to be losing out some value here, but I think we just install 2 hardware, probably click for a credit. Unfortunately, money's going to be a bit rough. I don't want to throw anything out. BioVault, Lucky Charm is really good against BioVault. We definitely want to get that down. So this is our shiny new card. I think we'll click for 1 and throw out a turtle. So this card, again, super strong. We can pay a credit to install a hardware or program from the top of our deck. Hopefully it is a hardware, and so that on the corpse turn, if we want to fire it, and we'll know what's on the top of our deck. We can get our Az ability to fire. We can get our Masterwork to fire as well, so we can get that card draw on the corpse turn. Unfortunately, without a pad tap, that's actually kind of bad. We don't want to be drawing on Pālanā. We don't want to be giving them too much money. Again, we can always diversion through here, but it's not the best. I'm assuming that's a La Costa Grid. It might not necessarily be a La Costa Grid, but it's kind of likely to be a La Costa Grid, and we really need this falsified to hit. So now there's 2. La Costa Grid and Tenise would be an issue. We unfortunately don't have any really cute tricks. We don't have Inside Job or always have a backup plan. Now if we install the Lucky Charm, it will be free, and it will draw us a card, and it'll give us this filtered draw. Cyberfeeder is the basis of this deck. It's cheap recurring credits, which is pretty good, but getting a daily cast down, we kind of need the money right now. It'd be pretty good, so I don't mind putting a Cyberfeeder on the bottom. I think we can just do maybe credit, install the casts, and then next turn we can kind of set up. We really need to get that burst money. An early gamble would have been good. And it looks like there might be a Lacoste in here, but Pat has to res it now. And Pat sometimes could goof up the timing. It doesn't play a lot in Jinteki.net, so we'll see if he gets the right order. It looks like not even. So we definitely know 2 of these are upgrades. So the Falsified's looking a bit cuter. And if we hit Bukhgalter here, we're going to lose a lot. I think... Ooh, IPO. So 1 card in hand. So I think we definitely want to Falsified one of these. And then there's a chance we can just do Diversion into Run Remote. And we can probably trash everything, which would be pretty sweet. We have to pop our Lucky Charm. We also see the top of our deck. I think we should do it. Let's Falsified. Let's say that this is an upgrade here. This is a Lacoste grid, which wasn't rezzed. We now have 7 credits. We could Diversion of Funds. Unfortunately, if Pat does boost into the trace too much, which would have to be a pretty heavy boost, we would have to clear the tag for the last, but I think that's actually pretty okay for us. We want to run HQ first to get the Lucky Charm fire, so let's try this. Look at the top 2 cards of our stack. So we have a flip switch on the top, which is something we can actually stall mid-run with the Masterwork, and we have a hostage, which is actually going to be pretty sweet for us. And we're pretty sure this is an IP block, so this is going to be a trace 3. So we can always let the trace fire again. We can also just remove the tag if it's too bad. So Pat needs to spend a fair bit. Pat needs to make this go up above 7. We can also reduce the strength to 0. That's kind of interesting, actually. I kind of like the flip switch for this remote too. Oh, it's an Bukhgalter in this remote, actually. We are goofing up. We would need to fire the Prognostic to install something. No, I think we're just going to lose this trace here. I think Pat's going to score the Bukhgalter. I forgot we need 4 cards in hand for sure, because this is definitely the Bukhgalter. So it was a flip switch on top into a hostage. We'll see how this goes. So good thing we made Pat spend 5. So he spent 7 already on this turn, which is a good start. So we can take the tag. We can always pop the tag and remove it. We're not playing Geist. Prevent the run from ending. No, we can't really do that. So that's okay. If Pat scores an Bukhgalter, it's okay. I'm assuming this actually might just be a Biovault they're rolling. It could be Biovault into Bukhgalter that they're unadvancing, or this could be Bukhgalter in here. So we can always pay a credit to install a flip switch. It gets through our deck a bit faster. It's a clickless install, which is pretty good. It costs us 1 credit. Yeah, I think we can do that. So we'll reveal the top card of our stack. It's a flip switch. We'll install it. It fires Masterwork, which is always really fun. We have Hostage or Stimhack we want to draw. I think the Hostage is really important. Stimhack is always really good, but when they have Biovault, it's a bit trickier. And I think we're just going to take the money. Oh, we got to move the tag. Sorry. Well, I'm going to remove that tag. You have to do that on our turn. So with Hostage, there's a lot of cool stuff we can get. I think Oracle May is really exciting considering we have the Prognostic Q-Loop, so we see what's on top of our deck. We can also grab Kati Jones if we want just a bit of that slower economy. It looks like double advance. That is probably the Biovault. I think we want to run HQ this turn anyways, but we need to be drawing up a bit. Hopefully we see a program or hardware on top of our deck with Q-Loop just so we can get we can draw a bit faster, especially if we hit hardware and then Masterwork fires. We could also pay a credit now and just hope that we hit a card off the top of our deck. It might not be the worst. Looks like that's just the Bukhgalter, which I think we're totally okay with. We don't want to steal that too much, and we can put the pressure on here. We could pay a credit, but then we might draw on the runners on Pālanā's turn. We kind of want to avoid that, I think. So at least now we have more money than for them. If we draw another Diversion, I think there's actually only 2 in this deck because of card slots. Things will be okay. So let's Hostage. Let's get out Oracle May, which we install for cheaper. Now if we run R&D, we can die here to stare. Look at the top 2. It's Boomerang and Masterwork. Boomerang's a bit clumsy because we have to pick the ice, but we can just call hardware, which is really cool. So we might die to snare here. It's an Excalibur. That's actually a really good target for Boomerang. And now we can Oracle May. We haven't used Prognostic yet, have we? We could either Prognostic for the Boomerang, and then we can Oracle May the second card. I think that's actually pretty okay. So we'll reveal the top card. It's a Boomerang. We've already used our ability. Oh wait, and now fucking Class Act fires. Oh, that's an issue. Okay, so our Oracle May is not gonna work. I totally forgot about that. So now 1 card to the bottom of the stack. We'll put Masterwork on the bottom. We draw DJ Fenris. So now we actually don't know the next card. I totally forgot about that. We should have done it in the other order. But even that, we'll draw 2 cards. Ooh, that's a bit clumsy. So now this is on server 1. Boomerang, another new hardware. It's kind of like a targeted fem, one-shot Gabhali sort of fem thing. We've already drawn this turn. I think we can draw again. We could have considered risking it with Oracle May, but maybe we don't want to entirely. There's a chance that going into this class act might be a bit too much with these because we're drawing 2 cards every draw. We can't really plan things. That's definitely a Buy-A-Vault in there. We want to tear that down. I think with the flip switch, we're pretty good at just running server 1. And we do have the R&D lock coming in with the R&D interface if we want to. And I think we do want to because Pat seems to have to draw into agendas at this point. And I think we just know that he has an Excalibur, which isn't a particularly good ice at protecting R&D. Security testing also would have been pretty sweet. But I think we just want to charge this remote. Okay, something on ID. So I think we're going to run HQ and then run server 1 because we could get through like a border control. And this is only going to cost us 2 credits to get an access, and it might be good. So we'll run HQ. Choose a trigger. We'll do Prognostic. Lock at the top 2. We have Cyberfeeder and Gamble. So Cyberfeeder is something we can install mid-run, but then we can draw the Gamble, which is actually kind of cool. Pay 1 credit to install a hardware. I don't know if we're going to use a Cyberfeeder. It's only for installing viruses or using icebreakers. So we don't have to do it now. So Pat can fire the trace on this one. We can always do it while running server 1 if we really need to. You don't need to use a flip switch here. So we'll pay 2 credits. We have no more link in this deck, but getting through IP for 2 is not bad at all. We don't need a breaker for that. This is also a good panic against the snare tag, which is good because we want to protect some of our stuff. So what was on top again? Cyberfeeder into Gamble. Preemptive action, good to know. Can run server 1. We can still install a hardware here. I think we don't need to. I'm gonna forget what it is already. I already have. There's a border control. Okay, so we're gonna go Boomerang that. I'm gonna break these 2 subroutines. This will shuffle our stack, which actually we probably should have pulled the Cyberbeater before, just because it shuffles, so now we don't know the top. That's kind of awkward. Oh, it doesn't shuffle yet, so we can do it now, and I think we will. It's gonna be 2 credits to install with the discount, so... And then it draws the Gamble, which is good, because if we want to shuffle this away, it'll be a problem. The thing is we're gonna have the trash stuff, so the Gamble's not even amazing. So on card to bottom of the stack. Oh, fuck. Well, we also kind of need the Corroder, don't we? Especially for this. We could always Lucky Charm it, but then we'd have to double Lucky Charm it. We'll take the Corroder. So we're gonna try and trash a Buy-A-Vault here. It might be a Rashida as well. But we can do some really interesting Shaper-esque plays with this Prognostic, as long as we know the top of our deck. And admittedly, Class Act is making it a bit difficult. Now, Pat could end the run, which honestly would be fine for us, because we just run again. We've got our Az ability. We so far haven't fired this on the Corp's turn, but our money's been a bit low. I think we really need a Kati or something. So that's an NGO front, getting the free counter. This is a Buy-A-Vault, and we obviously can't trash the Costa. Let's reading new card. Shuffle Boomerang, we might as well. We haven't really filtered too much that's bad. Like this now shuffles our Cyberfeeders and other stuff we bottomed, which is okay. And at this point we can just do credit. I think we're gonna need the money. This is good for Icebreakers and installing viruses. So we have the Aumakua we can install cheaply, but with the IP block, it's a bit of an issue. I think we really want to just get the pressure down with the R&D interface because Pat's money isn't amazing. I think he really wanted to get that NGO front off. Kind of went for the value. And this server is now not particularly great with the Corroder in hand. Costa has to put a counter on itself. Something in the server, that's the only thing in the server. And we know there's a preemptive in hand and maybe an Excalibur and R&D. So ideally we draw into a Kati sometime soon. This is why sec testing is good because we can always run archives, see the top 2 cards, and then fire Oracle May for sure. We can also do that with running archives if we get the Aumakua down, if we just want counters. Aumakua is actually a pretty good way to get to border control as well. 1 counter isn't that hard to get. Another ice. I'm assuming it's Excalibur into border control, which can be an issue. So we need to really get Lucky Charm to fire. Question is what we do here. Do we run archives to get a fire off Oracle May? I think we just draw first. So it's an R&D interface or a Boomerang. I like the Boomerang a bit more. We can do this blindly, but it's kind of really scary. I don't know if we want to do that. We can also install this for 1 credit to draw a card. I think we'll just run archives. This feels pretty bad. Prognostic, top 2. So it's Corporate Grant, which is really good, and Test Run, which is also pretty tricky, but I think I took Fem out of this deck. Do we want to install hardware mid-run? I don't think we really need to. This is good if we play around. Let's just say we're playing around Chiven from 10 in. So it was an event. Fortunately, we can't play it. Just making nothing runs to trigger Q-Loop. Yeah, seeing is good. Because of, what's her name? Oracle. But it's a bit tricky with a Class Act. because I can't set it up for 2 turns. Actually, we know the next card. Oh my god, I keep forgetting what's on the top. What was it? It was Oracle May into... Well, I forget already. I don't want to play this just yet. I don't think there's a need to. We haven't installed any hardware or what's it called? Or job or resource. I think we can try Fenris. It's a bit expensive. I want to see what we can get. So Quetzal is good for the border control. Honestly, if we just want to get that value run with the Cyberfeeder money, Smoke is actually pretty okay. Haley is what I was kind of thinking at first. I think Haley's pretty cool. Reyna is going to put the pressure on. Some of this ice is actually kind of expensive. I honestly don't mind Reyna that much. Quetzal is also definitely very good against these barriers. It gets through the IP block. I think actually Quetzal is probably one of the better targets here, just because we can get through HQ for free once per turn, and that seems like an immense amount of power, especially when we want to make that value run to see the top of our deck with Prognostic Q-Loop. Fenris Quetzal seems really strong here. I totally forget what's on top though, and I'm gonna regret that. Mind you, in a tournament, you can have paper and pencil, so like you just write that stuff down. When I'm trying to talk through everything, it gets a bit difficult. Shit, I don't remember what's on top. And it'd be really good. We don't even need to draw it, right? Pat installs, then draws. Again, Nisei's the real threat here. We could charge this remote. Issue is whether or not the border control, right? Like whether we need to Quetzal this or this. This could be Excalibur. So we could run HQ first. Do you suppose May is a Nisei clone, hence hiding in plain sight and psychic ability? I think there's a chance. Came out in the right box. Lines up, I guess. All right. So only 6 credits. Again, we haven't found any Kati. Our money's been a bit tight. We have some good recurring credits on the Cyberfeeder that we're struggling to use. This is a problem. We probably need a Hunting Grounds. We have 3 Aumakuas in the deck, and IP block is a pretty common card. We could go for the Tracer, which costs 2. You can obviously just like corporate grant down the Corroder and then run the remote after. And that gives us some counters. To break this with Corroder, it's 3 credits. It's only 2 credits with Cyberfeeder, but this install is pretty expensive. I think we'll start running HQ and we'll Quetzal. Oh, Prognostic. We'll do the trace. Look at top 2 cards of stack. So it's test run, of course, into Bukhgalter. Okay. No. So we're in. That's an Excalibur. So we don't know what this is. We do have the Lucky Charm for the remote, which is pretty good. Losing the Corroder to damage would be a bit unfortunate. And we have a test run. Test run, if we had Fem in this deck and I cut it, and I think it definitely needs to go back, there's some really cool stuff where you test run Fem on an ice, and then it goes to the top of your deck so that you can Oracle May it or install it mid-run with like a Stimhack Prognostic Q-Loop, which is actually pretty cool. We can also just Boomerang onto this. We can do that anytime. So we actually can just run here, and if they res something really scary, we can just pop our, use our Prognostic to install the Boomerang. And that's actually pretty good. So I think we're going to Oracle May. We're going to call Event. And we're not going to draw the test run. We're going to draw the Bukhgalter. There's a chance this is an Obokata, though. And then that would be bad if we lose the Bukhgalter. It'd be really bad if we lose the Bukhgalter. So we'll keep the Bukhgalter in our deck. We're going to shuffle really soon, hopefully. So without any breakers, we can still contest server 1. Oh, not really. This is an issue. I guess we can install Corroder and run server 1. Yeah, that's probably good enough. We can do this anytime during the run, so we can always just pop out our Boomerang from hand if things look particularly dicey. With 9 credits, if Pat wants to res something big like an Anansi or DNA tracker, they're not going to have that much money to score out in the remote. It looks like it's just an NGO front, so we don't even have to go through. It looks like they're going to res something big. What's it going to be? Oh, a Chiashi. That would be an issue. Too bad we have a Lucky Charm. Jack out. Nice. Nice. Pat's down on 2 credits. We have that Quetzal ability. All right. So Pat, still going to be an issue for money. There's probably 3 hedge funds, 1 IPO, 2 celebrities, and gifts in the deck and the NGO front. This is a scary remote. We actually don't have any D-res in the deck. Boomerang is not amazing against Chiashi. You can take 2 net damage to get through, but not the end of the world. And this, unfortunately, any card that's in this remote behind this Chiashi could be a Nisei, which would definitely be an issue. So I think at this point, we just have to pivot really hard and then pressure R&D heavily with this R&D interface. With 3 credits, not a lot that can be res. I think hopefully we can lock them out. One card to the bottom. We'll put the class act to the bottom. We have falsified in hand. We could falsify this. Doesn't feel amazing. This for 4 credits. Not much it can be. We'll run R&D here. We'll use Prognostic first. 2 cards a stack. It's Stimhack into pad tap. We definitely want the pad tap. Let's remember there's an event into a resource. No hardware we need to install. We can always panic out a Boomerang. We have 3 credits. It's a slot machine. Roll them bones. That's gonna fuck up our order. Shit. So now the event is on bottom. So it's resource, hardware. So pad tap, Cyberfeeder, Boomerang. Man, this is so hard to remember. Fires. So they gain 3, we lose 3. That's all our money. That's unfortunate. But we do have a pad tap coming up. And if that's a Rashida, that pad tap's pretty sweet. Let alone we can Oracle May out of this. So we're gonna see 2 cards. Can't trash any of them. Oh, actually we probably should have, before we lost the 2. Hold on. Before we lose the 3, we can just install the Boomerang so we keep our money. Yeah, so we'll use this. Can we not? We haven't used it, right? Let's pad tap Cyberfeeder. Oh, undo click didn't undo that. Oh, he just pulled it. Okay, no, we're good. So yeah, we'll install for hardware. We can install this. So now we're not gonna lose any money. The question is what we're gonna get over. I think we're gonna get over the Chiashi. Seems okay. And we still have we can have the pad tap on top. Yeah, it's good. That saves us some money. Get some money on, which is important. Let me move my face real quick. All right. So, some cards to access, still not using our Cyberfeeder. We need more breakers. Obviously, relying on Aumakua seems like an issue. Preemptive off the top, so that's double preemptive. We found the Nisei. Huge hit here. We have a pad tap, which is really good. So we can pull the pad tap, call resource. We know it's a resource, and we'll install the pad tap. Obviously, getting the corporate grant up or while they have low money seems pretty good. But there's a small chance they score a Nisei here in this remote server. Could be the last NGO. Also could be a BioVault. But we're going to lock R&D if they don't do anything. And yeah, we can maybe hold them down. We also do have in this deck an Amina, which is a bit expensive. Our money, again, we haven't drawn a Kati or sec testing. Both of them would be really good. We get free sec testing on HQ or archives. Kati also we can hit once per turn. Because we have a lot of like click compression. Another card. So falsified seeming okay too. Okay, so this card doesn't have advancements on it. So it looks might be BioVault into something. And BioVault Chiashi is kind of an issue. Because they could pop 2 end the runs. This one and BioVault, which is hard. I think we just keep slamming through R&D, but we want to spend our money before we do that. Ideally, if we draw, so we get a pad tap credit, which is kind of sweet. We don't want to put an AI down. Chiashi just eats the AI. The question is which one we falsified. We know they have a preemptive, another preemptive in hand. Excalibur in hand, so the HQ run doesn't seem amazing. I think we can just run this first. We'll see what's on the top. There's a small chance we can install it if it's a cheap hardware. That'd be sweet. So it's a Cyberfeeder into a Boomerang. We can actually install that, I'm pretty sure. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I'll fire before you do. So in theory... In theory, this is on encounter. So on approach, we should be able to fire Masterwork. So don't roll too soon. So we're gonna run R&D. So we pay a credit to install Cyberfeeder, which should be cheaper. So we'll run R&D. We'll use a Prognostic. Yes. Okay. We'll install the Cyberfeeder, which is now 1 credit cheaper. 1 card goes on the bottom. We don't need the Prognostic. We don't know what's on top. Now you can roll. And we get a credit back also because we've installed something and we drew. So now it's Diversion of Funds, which is a really good event to draw. We can do, holy shit, that's good. We can do Oracle May into Diversion of Funds. And we have an Amina coming up, which can actually lock them down. Yeah, this is pretty okay. And they can still score out, but at least they will be poor. Pad tap Amina. Okay. This is okay. There's definitely, if you're watching this, triggers that we could be firing this on the corp's turn for Prognostic, but maybe we're actually clearing the top with the Prognostic Q every turn. 2 cards off the top. DNA Tracker, they're far away from resing that. And a Nisei Mark II, that's the second one that's so good. Let alone, we're going to call event, and we're going to diversion them for the last click. We're going to Quetzal the end of the run, or give the tag, excuse me. No. And we have another Pat Tap. I think on top it's what, Pat Tap into Amina. This actually, Slot Machine helps us a fair bit when it's trying to Oracle May. There's a nice anti-synergy there. So resing the Biovault, honestly, oh, just for the end of the run. Oh, that's fine. Prevent the end run ring, prevent a corp ability from ending the run, only if you made a successful run on HQ, so we can't prevent that. That's okay. So we traded a Biovault in for that. This might be actually the next Nisei. That'd be annoying. Small chances in NGO. Looks like it is the last Nisei. Ooh. So at this point on, it's just probably Obakatas, maybe an SSL, and then a Philotic Entanglement, which is pretty scary. Now, Pat has very little money. The top of R&D is 2 unknown cards. We would have on the top, we can draw, install Pad Tap. Not amazing. I think we definitely need the Corporate Grant down. So we're going to do Corporate Grant. We're going to call, I think we're going to call Resource, but then we need the Amina. I think we need the Amina. No, we can always special test run the Amina. So we'll call Resource. There's a Pad Tap. We'll put the Amina to the bottom. We'll install this. So they lose 1. Then we can run R&D. The top will be blank, but we'll see what it is. There's a chance we can install a hardware. If we panic, we can maybe install a Boomerang, trashing a Boomerang. I don't know if we really need to do that. We'll run R&D. We have 4 cards in hand. Prognostic first. Kati Jones, Aumakua. Neither of those could we prognostic. Well, we could the Aumakua, but it's not on the top. Install a hardware. That would draw the Kati. That's interesting. Thinking. We're not getting a lot of value out of Cyberfeeder. We maybe want to install this, but we have so much anti-AI hate. I think we might just lose the credits here. Also, if they gain credits, we do have Pad Tap. That's the first time, so it's not going to fire off of anything else. Letting this fire is actually really bad, right? Because they need the money. Hopefully this works out. We already seen 2 that are of different types, so the chance of all 3 is low. Now we can roll the bones before we lose the money, install a Boomerang. We'll lose this Boomerang. So it's a program event resource. So we just lose 3. We have security nest. So it's Aumakua, which we could install. We could install Aumakua. It would be an issue, but we could do it. And that would save our money. I think we just install Aumakua. No, there's no way it's right. Ah. Yeah, whatever, we'll lose our money. Just say we broke it for 3, right? So it's Aumakua into Sure Gamble into Sec Testing. That Sec Testing and Kati Jones are definitely really important. We need those. We're seeing 2 cards. We have 4 in hand. There's a small chance we win here. We can also use the Prognostic on their turn to install the Aumakua just so that they lose a credit with the Corporate Grant. Seems pretty mean. That's a good hit. Another IP block. Okay, Aumakua seems a bit bad now. So now they need to score out of 5-3. And they had 2 Biovaults out, 2 NGO fronts. So whatever they advance in the remote is pretty suspicious. And we have some good tech for the remote. Coster getting back. So they drew. Top 2 are unknown. They just drew the mandatory IP block. They've drawn 2 unknown cards. And they're jamming for the remote. Now, unless they advance it, which they can't, we're not at risk of losing. We know Aumakua is on the top. I think we're going to Oracle May first. We gain 2 credits. We know program Aumakua is on top. And we're going to add Aumakua to the bottom. Seems not great right now. We need to install something. We could do credit, gamble, run R&D. We could also just, yeah, I think we might want to keep our money up because we need to contest the remote. Yeah, we'll run R&D here. We'll do Prognostic first. Look at the top 2 of the stack. Sec Testing, gamble. Fuck, we can't install either of those. We don't want to lose the Sec Testing too much, thinking. They also might have thrown out an agenda, considering they have 2 preemptives in their hand. So we can install a Boomerang, trashing a Boomerangs to draw either of these. I don't know if we need it. Okay, 2 are different. No, this is fine. Pack and roll. These have already both fired. It's event resource hardware. So we have Hernando coming up. Not that good right now. I think we played what, both diversions? There's one more diversion in 17. That'd be pretty sweet. And I think this probably is a Rashida. Gamble, Hernando, fire. So we just lose 3. We're going to see 2 cards. Pat really needs some more ice on R&D. Card from deck, IPO. Not a great draw for Pat. Bukhgalter, we got it. Oh, good game. Yes! This deck is super cool. We obviously didn't even use our breakers really compellingly, and there wasn't that much ice to deal with. I think Quetzal gets pretty far. Yeah, Rashida, nice. Couple 5/3s left, right? But we have a lot of pressure with just the combination of Lucky Charm and the Boomerang. I love the combination here between Prognostic, having a lot of hardware to draw through with Masterwork. You can install things mid-run, which is obviously incredibly compelling. Now, there is some small anti-synergy with Oracle May and Class Act, but I think it's still definitely worth it just to be able to fire this. And we never fired Prognostic on the runner's turn, or on the corp's turn, which is something that's a bit worse against Pālanā foods, because then we'd be drawing. A lot of times when we're installing hardware, we have way more hardware than programs. But that's definitely pretty exciting. It also fires, again, Corporate Grant, which is really strong. We want to install something once a turn, and holding them down. Fortunately, again, if we do install hardware, we draw and cancel this out. But that's really cool. They also did have the Nisei token. This remotes get really scary where they have border control Nisei, and we only have a single Lucky Charm and a Boomerang, which Boomerang isn't particularly compelling against a border control server, because if you use it once, you usually have to run back. There's a chance that you want something like always have a backup plan, which is actually really powerful with the likes of things like border control and flip switch, because you can just flip switch whatever and come back. Well, hey, let's see if we have another game. If not, thanks so much for watching.